Good morning, Lentilmen. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. As always, welcome. Today we are going to go ahead and do kind of like a part 3 of the good old Lincoln wheat cent, kind of like treasure hunt right here. I have a ton of coins to talk about. Of course, the the finds are just absolutely astounding. Really astounding. But there's one coin in particular that I've discovered this bunch that I pretty much kind of helped sums up the just the overall success. All right, now what I have here, I have one more bag of 50s and then the 40s stuff, which I had the chance to go through kind of like a little handful at a time. The quality of the 40s, I'm not super enterprised about it, but we'll see where we come up here. But let's go ahead and do kind of a quick overview of what I have here. And, well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then half of a stack, and each stack has about 11, 12 coins. These are all BIE cents right here. Fantastic. You guys saw my other video kind of like kicking it off a few days ago, showing exactly what that little die chip means to just the overall value of each coin. Think of this as like a $5 bill. Every single coin is a $5 bill. That's probably $300-$400 in there. Sorry, my dog's all running buck wild back there. These right here, we got 4 stacks and another 5th one here and a little mini stack. These are all kind of like little, kind of neat little die breaks and chips and, you know, things like that. And then we got a couple random pieces here. A couple coins over here are really thin planchet coins. I think I'm going to do a video on that just to kind of explain exactly what it is. And then if we move over here, of course, I have all this work area that I use for going through these coins. It's just better lighting too. We have a half, 1, 2, and 3. So these 3 full kind of like stacks, and each stack has like 11, 12 coins. And this one right here, these are all repunched mint marks. When I did the video the other day about repunched mint marks and what I've found up to this point, I only had 5 or 6. So in this video, we're going to go through probably this half stack, 1 and 2, under the microscope so you can see what that looks like, and I'll go through them in pretty quick order. Right here, we have the retained die breaks. These 2 stacks right here are some pretty phenomenal looking strike doubled coins. Again, they're not varieties or errors, they're just a neat looking anomaly that goes hand in hand with die wear. Of course, we have my phone scope sitting right there that we're going to plug onto the device that I'm using for the close-ups. And then right here, we have a couple more. These are strike-through piles, these 2 stacks here. So we're going to go through and look at the repunchment marks because those matter the most in terms of the overall value of the lot. In addition to one coin that I have right here that I actually kind of put together with another coin, but I ran out of these flips. But this coin right here we're going to talk about. This coin right here is the most valuable, most expensive coin out of this lot. And then you're going to see why here in a second. All right, so here we are, a little close-up action. And as opposed to like saving this coin for the very end, because I'm going to go through a bunch of repunch mint marks, and that might take 10-15 minutes, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the one big subject coin that I was able to find up to this point. This is through about 2,000 pennies searched so far. And yeah, I wanted to keep it just straightforward and just keeping it real with these finds. And this is a 1958D Lincoln wheat cent, a generally very common, very high minted coin, with the exception that this little thing just popped up right in front of Lincoln's portrait. This is insane, okay? And I have to say, this is the first time that I've ever found what they call a dropped letter error. And I'm going to get into exactly what that means here in a second. I got to find my reference card. because I pulled the information right off of errorreference.com. If you haven't checked them out, it's error-ref.com as to what this is. The technical, I guess, kind of like what you call this. Okay, a drop letter is just a simple kind of form of what this is. But as you can see this this cool letter B right here, which is obviously the B from Liberty, same shape, same size. All right, there's no big secret where that came from. But it's incuse. Okay, so in hindsight, it is a strike through. This is what they call a strike through die filling. All right, which is also commonly referred to as either a dropped letter or a dropped number. So let me go ahead and twist this around so you can see this letter here. And there you go. You're probably gonna hear my dogs walking around here. Hardwood floors, that's what we get, right? But it's what the definition of a strike through die filling is a hardened, compacted grease filling falls out from the die and onto a blank planchet before the strike. And subsequently strikes through with what you see here. So on the particular die that struck this 1958D, there were probably a few coins before it that probably had a missing few letters in Liberty, okay? And what this is you guys have heard the terminology struck through grease. Error, where you're going to see kind of like right here, where you see kind of like the weakness in T and trust. Okay, that's a partially filled die that has a little bit of that compacted grease that is hardened over time. And then there you go. It's continuous on every other strike until that piece of compacted grease falls out of the die and it either lands on the planchet, a blank coin, or it falls out of the machine, or it gets cleaned out by a mint employee. So this was a filled B in Liberty that had hardened, fallen out, landed on the planchet. The coin was subsequently struck, and then there you go. You have the that letter that's been struck through, and this is incuse, which means the design goes into the coin and it doesn't pop up out of the coin like you normally would the date and all the other devices. Really cool error. They are extremely rare to find. They are neat. They are absolutely neat, and they could be read the way it is, like the letter B, or they could be mirrored. They could be backwards. It really depends on how that grease filling falls out. If it falls onto the planchet backwards, then you're going to get a reverse B, like a mirror image of a B. But I wanted to talk about this from the get-go. As far as value, that's a tough one because I've seen that I've actually went online to try and research how much some of these go for. And there are a few coins that are a little bit more modern from the 90s, like Lincoln sets and stuff that have a dropped letter on like the reverse or obverse. And those coins have sold for right around $150 to $200. But of course, they're graded. Okay, PCGS, NGC, and Annex can grade these with the error attribution on there. And that's pretty neat. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to send it off to NGC and get that on there. It'll just make it easier to sell. Now, because this is an older coin, all right, the older coins tend to get a little bit more expensive. There was a Morgan dollar, I believe it was in 1921, with a strike through that sold for some insane amount of money. I would have to say it was like $3,800, $3,900. And the coin was like an AU. Someone pulled it out of a scrap silver bin of Morgan dollars, got it graded, turned around and sell for nearly $4,000. So these things are rare and valuable. This is probably a coin that's somewhere in that $200 to $300 range, all on its own. And it's in great shape too. I would say this is kind of like an AU brown. There is some mint red in the protective areas, like, near the portrait, in between the letters, the rim. I would say this is probably like an AU 53, AU 55-ish coin right there. And you have that really neat strike through error, okay, which is very bold, just like it sticks out. I got this thing under a magnifier when I saw it. I'm like, wow, that's incredible. So, yay me, I guess, for all the hard work I've done trying to come up with new content. I'm glad I found this one. This one's really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one aside. That's going to be going into my NGC submission here in the next few months. All right, let's go ahead and breeze through some pretty neat RPMs. Okay, this 53 is the D over D, the primary D, of course, or the secondary D is west of the primary D. You can probably see it better right there. All right, so this is a common one. This coin is worth somewhere in that $3 to $7 range. Okay, and they're out there. They are out there, so keep an eye out for that. Here is, I found a lot of 58Ds. Oh, here's one of the big ones, 56 D over D. This one right here is a Cherry Picker's Guide variety. I would have to say I found about 7 or 8 of these. These are worth about 10, 15 bucks. They're very desirable because they have one of the strongest repunches in the Lincoln Cent series. All right, so we got that one there. And then you're going to see a lot of duplicates. Here's another same one, the 53 D over D. All right, so we got that one there as well. I'm doing a little rotation on the actual coin image because of my lighting. Here's that 58 D over D. The secondary D is punched south of the primary D. You can actually see the secondary D. I was like, where's my... They're right there. You can see the secondary D just to the south. Pretty nice. Get those magnifiers, guys. It's an important tool. You can't look at stuff like this with your naked eye. Put some clothes on. So there's another 58 D over D, the same RPM. Here's the 56 D over D. The secondary D is north of the primary D. Okay, this one right here is pretty cool. It's a nice shadowy effect. Let me see if I can rotate it around here. It doesn't help. Pretty nice, pretty nice. You can see it there too. And let's see, here's another one. This is another one of those Cherry Picker's Guide varieties. Okay, that's another $10 bill right there. And then right here, we have another one. Okay, so that makes 3 up to this point. Again, I've found quite a few of those. Here is a 58 D over D, same one as the first couple that we found. Here's a 55 D over D. Now, this is a lower condition one, but the secondary D is slightly south of the primary D. You can see just the doubled serifs on that top part of the D. This is probably the least impressive out of the bunch. Here is another 56 D over D. Pretty crazy. I'm absolutely astonished of how much is in this particular batch. Some of you have asked where to get these. Check locally. Check your coin shops. Coin shops don't look for RPMs. Okay, you probably 1 out of 25 coin shops actually has a dedicated employee that looks for these type of things. Here's a D over D. Okay, I probably won't go through all of them. There's a lot of duplicates, but you get the big picture. Just insane amounts of RPMs. There you go. That one's incredible. Pretty nice. All right, I'll go through 2 more here. Another one of those. I think we got through, what, 5 or 6 of them, guys? That's like 50, 60 bucks just right there. And then I think we'll just end it off on this one here. That's another 58 D over D. So yeah, there you go. That's kind of like a kind of update of halfway through this batch. I've been through about 2,000 coins, and I got probably about another 650s. I'm excited to go through that because it's all in the same batch. I'm pretty sure we're going to find more crazy, insane stuff. And then the 40s. Okay, we're going to go through the 40s and see if there's anything notable in there. So, as always, guys, thank you for joining. Hope you found that dropped letter error just absolutely insane. That's a $200-300 coin on its own. I'm going to get it graded. I'm going to share the results with you here in the near future. And yeah, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for instant notification. As always, guys, Coinaholics, we are discovering together every single day. This is such a great hobby, and I want to thank you guys for joining. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the hunt.